How's the journey been so far with the Washington Freedom?
Like it's been very, very great so far, and I'm very grateful to be here. Look, like I said, 2 weeks back, I had no idea I'll be here. I had completely shut off my mind. I was a bit disappointed not to be picked in the draft, and then once the major league started, I was sort of sad that because inside you know that you should be there, but then it wasn't happening. So I was like, okay, you know what? So be it. I'll just focus on my other stuff. I completely shut off my mind to it. It's funny actually. I was planning to work in my backyard, make garden and all that. I had all that planned out, and then luckily I get a call from Michael. He said, Saurav has to go. Obviously, Saurav is having a baby, and Saurav has to go. Would you be keen to come down? It could be maybe 1 game or 2 game. At that point, I said, I mean, I had no expectations. I was like, I'm not doing anything here anyways. Might as well, just go. I'll go, and at least I'll have some practice time. I never thought I'll get a chance to play, to be very, very honest. But little that, when I spoke to Saurav called me actually. He said, I just got back. Just wanted to let you know, have a good time. He sort of told me what kind of environment is in the team. He said it's beautiful people in the team. They look after you. And he said, look, you never know. You might get a game to play. You might get a chance. You never know how it's gonna be. When coming here, I was expecting to, go to the practice and ball and impress Ricky, Sean, and the whole coaching staff, but it rained out. So no practice, so I was like, okay, there's definitely no chance I'm gonna play. And then I got a chance to play, so I was actually surprised about it. And I'm very actually, humble and grateful about the way it's going so far. It's funny, I was sitting down with Monak in his room. The game was against Mumbai, and Monak was like, I have a feeling you might play tomorrow. I said, no chance, bro. They haven't seen me, in person. How can they just put me in? And in the exact same second, I got a text from Ricky saying that, you'll be playing, you're making a debut for Freedom tomorrow and all. So that sort of, it was shocking. But then I'm happy that I was able to go in and do my part and contribute to the winning cause. And yeah, look, it's funny how it happened, but it's God's plan.
Absolutely, like we say, it's God's plan. And there was something really interesting, right? The coaching staff didn't see you bowl in person. Like you said, it rained out when we were about to practice. And to have that faith in you was incredible. Plus, when you took the ball in your hand, came down running, and started hitting the spot right from the word go, I think everyone would have got convinced that we made the right decision. Yeah.
Yeah, look, it was very important for me to sort of pay that back. Like I really, that sort of pumped me up. The kind of faith they shown, like they backing me up to play the game, without seeing me in person, and had a meeting session with Sean and Ricky before the game about my bowling plans and all. And Sean said that, look, I've seen footage of yours, and I see what do you offer, and I like that, and we're gonna keep it. We want you to keep it simple. We don't want to throw too much on your side because it's such a short time. We want you to do what best you can do. And then we went sort of over my strength and the plans that we want to do that night. And I spoke about it to Ricky and Sean both, and then for me it was just like I want to go in and do my best because these guys are showing so much faith in me. And I literally kept it very simple. I just went in and did exactly what we spoke about in a meeting, and the results, it paid off. So it made it very clear, and again, I'm happy, it came out this way.
True. There's one thing I noticed after the game, right? I saw Sean put his shoulder on you and took you on the side for a chat. What was it about?
Look, it was obviously, he came out and said that, you were amazing today. And he said, look, you kept it very simple. This is your strength. And he said, I'm very proud of you. And then, right after that, I remember when I was going to collect the Player of the Match award, Ricky pulled me to the side. I think these words will always live with me. Ricky said, "Mate, you were bloody awesome." He said, "You didn't do anything that you said you're not going to do. He said, you're going to ball these lengths, you're going to ball short balls, and that's what you went and did." And he said, that's the way to go about it. I'm very proud of you. So that sort of pumped me up. Now I'm in that comfort zone where, these guys are treating me like everyone else, how I was from the day one anyways. So that sort of comfort zone came in, and the confidence level obviously goes up when, you have just doing well in the game is one thing, but then getting a clean check from somebody like Ricky and Sean is another thing, right? And I think from there on it was like, okay, I have a one game, I have one good game. It's very important I go back and have another good game. I just don't want it to be a one and done and be a fluke, and next game also kept it very simple. But I think it's easy for me to sit here and say that I did this, I did that, but a lot has gone behind it. Ricky and Sean's planning, and then the way Smudge used me over on the field, and his confidence, and Lockie is always around me helping me out. So there's a big sport unit, that a lot of credit goes to everybody for these two games the way it went for me.
Amazing. And you also spoke about Loki, right? That brings me to another thing which we wanted to talk about today. You said you visualized him giving you a cap. How did that happen?
Yeah, so my pre-game routine is I get up, do yoga, and do some meditation, a little visualization and all, and I go about my whole day, how my whole day is gonna go. I sort of visualize it. So I sort of when I was visualizing the game starting, obviously I knew they're gonna present the cap. So I visualized everybody around, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my cap from Lockie. That's one person that I look at it that I'll be getting my cap from it. And then when we got in the hurdle, I got my cap from Lockie. I think that was a one sign for me to begin the day that, okay, this could be your day. You sort of get that signal. So yeah, and after that, it was sort of me just expressing myself, enjoying it, and everything just went the way it should.
And how did you let the pressure not affect you? Because sort of the leading wicket taker still, and him missing out on a couple of games, big shoes to fill, right? So there would obviously be some sort of nerves coming in at the start.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, actually I had nerves coming in. One, that I'm coming in and playing a game straight away. I had sort of a lot to prove because I wasn't initially picked, and two, I was coming in place of Saurav. Saurav's been having great year. He's picking wickets left and right. And a game before that, he had a Player of the Match award. And to come in place of him, my thought process was like, if I can't do as good as him, I don't want to do bad at all in the game. I want to be like some contribution to the winning cause. And but a lot of the pressure, I think these guys took it away from me, like coaches and Smudge and all that. And then when I took the ball, I balled the first ball, right? And after that, it was like, okay, this is the same ground, it's same me who was playing here in the World Cup on the same field, and I have played quite a few games here before. And that point, I think I accessed that zone where I'm just being in the present and balling one ball at a time. And that sort of helped me to just go about my game plan, and and I'm glad. That's all. I'm very glad the way it came out.
And we're glad you're here because you've spent less than 2 weeks with us now.
Yeah.
And it feels like we've known you for such a long time. It also shows that how easily you got in and became part of the squad.
Yeah, I think that's it's easy to connect with people when you have great people around you. I always wanted to come in and gel with the team, But I think everybody, all of you guys made sure that me coming in, you guys welcomed me very well, everybody in the team. So that sort of allowed me to, be here with the open heart and just, enjoy. I'm literally just being myself, enjoying it. I just feel like a lot of things are just happening at a moment. I'm not planning for it, I'm not doing it. So it's just me going with the flow, and I'm actually I'm loving it. Getting in touch with everybody, engaged, and it's been so great so far.
I mean, beautiful journey, Jesse, because while we'll go back and talk about your life when you started cricket and all, but before that, I just want to talk about one story, right? You said you were quite disappointed. In your head, you knew you're not going to play this season in the MLC, and you're wondering why. You had some conversation with Saurabh about it.
Yeah, so on tours, when we were in USA tours, me and Saurabh, we usually have dinners together. If not every day, every other day for sure. And then we talk a lot about how the day went, how the games went, how the life is going, a lot of mental side of it, right? And the World Cup was coming close to end, and everybody was in the camp. Everyone is talking about Major League, going into the camp and all that. And I was sort of disturbed by it, like, I'm the only one that's not being part of it. And I started talking about it, and so I was like, you know what, sort of said himself, I feel really bad, it's very harsh on you and all that. So we were going over things, and then, there's quite a few things I admire about Saurav, and remember him telling me, like, just be in the present moment. I know there's a lot going on, don't look back what happened, and don't look too far ahead of you, that why it didn't happen, and you want to be here and all that. Be like, if you have that, if you live in a present and you have that empty space, you'll have a lot of good thoughts coming in, and then certainly good things will start happen. And I think that one change that I made, that's where I was like, okay, I completely shut off. It's not meant to be. I'm gonna do so and so house chores and all that. Same thing I did coming in here. And yeah, he's been a great help. He's a very good friend of mine. Although I get very annoyed by him, while we eating, it's usually me, Nosh, and him. So we get annoyed by him sometimes because he keeps repeating same things. I feel like sometimes he do it on purpose to annoy us. Yeah, but at the same time, he's a lovely guy to have around. He's a proper team man. His energy sort of rubs on to you, in the team. So and it's good to have him around.
Yeah, I feel he's one of the most genuine human beings I've ever kind of got an opportunity to get to know.
Definitely. Yeah.
And you also spoke about him giving some sort of commentary while he's eating. What was that about?
Oh, he has this habit. Everything he does, he says it twice. He'll say it. Let's say if there's 3-4 things in the plate, he's like, "Oh, I'll eat this first. Oh, I'm eating this now." He says that, "Oh, this tastes very good," and it's all of us sitting quiet, and he keeps going about it, and then we have to remind him, "Sorry, just eat, man." I know you like the food, but yeah, that's how it is. But I feel like sometimes he do it. He knows that we get annoyed. So I feel like sometimes he do it on purpose. Yeah. But sometimes it's just him being himself. Like he has that zone where, like, he's in it. But yeah, that's just a little thing.
Yeah. So more on Washington Freedom and Saurabh later on. But for now, take us back to how this journey in cricket began.
Yeah, I have a bit of a different journey compared to probably a lot of other guys around. It was a bit tough, bit struggle, but everybody goes through it. I'm not the only one. Growing up, it was a bit struggle. Had to go through some tough days because we were struggling financially, and then I had to opt out of school. I really wanted to be in a school, couldn't continue because of the family situation. So I had to work early age. At the age of 14, I was working pretty long hours throughout the day, and I remember, yeah, it sort of felt like the life is going nowhere. I would get up in the morning at 7, start work at 8, finish at 6:30, and be in that circle, be in that cycle throughout. So, and then had no idea what am I going to do in life. But it was more about being a help for the family and, sort of look after each other. We were all doing that. And then I grew up in Jersey. There's big South Asian community, and where my apartment complex, there was enough Indian community. They would gather up in the evening and play tennis ball cricket, and my dad would go for a walk there, and I would tag along with him. And dad knew some of the guys over there, some of his friends, so he would hang out over there in the evening. And then one day I just happened to join in, and I just remember I knew one thing: just run and ball fast. And I was balling fast, beating some of these guys. So that sort of, the guy said that, told my dad he's really good, maybe he should play some leagues and all. Till then I thought it's all fun and, games, but that's when I happened to find out, there's actually, recreational leagues here. They play cricket over the weekends. And just about then I found out there was under 19 team that was touring New Zealand for World Cup, I think 2010. So that sort of kicked the interest in me, like it was more of like something to look up to after the whole day of work. It was for me something to look up to, just go play. I used to play a little basketball there, but now I started enjoying cricket also because people are talking good about me. So that sort of makes me feel good. And then that's when I realized, okay, there is USA cricket team. These guys are talking good about me. I could play under 19 too in the next couple of years, and I can play for USA as well. It's me not knowing anything about cricket in the US, what it will be. Cricket back in 2010 there was not much. There was not much to offer money-wise, career-wise. But I feel like it was sort of the path being created for me, and that sort of gave me a hope that, okay, if I work hard enough in this and I make it to the US national team, this might be my chance to have a different life, for me to get out of this where I am right now. And then all the work started. Like I said, I literally played on the streets of New Jersey, on the tennis courts, been kicked out of all tennis courts because I wasn't able to afford all the indoor facilities and all. But yeah, it's safe to say sitting here that all of that was worth it.
From the streets of New Jersey to representing USA in the World Cup.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. That was the ultimate goal, going in that when I started playing, the ultimate goal was to represent US in the World Cup. Because in all other small tournaments, you don't get that recognition that you're playing for the country, and then you don't get that self-satisfaction either that you have done something for the country or for yourself, for your parents, for your family. It was going into World Cup, obviously. Then we had having a great campaign, making it to Super 8. That sort of put us on the world map, So there was a lot of emotions, playing World Cup, a lot going on. But from the streets of New Jersey to world cricket.
Yeah, that's amazing. And Jessy, when was the first time when you got to know that you're going to be playing the World Cup for USA?
I don't remember exact date, but the moment moment it was announced that we were the co-host for the World Cup, that we knew like, okay, we are automatically qualified. And that's when it was like, okay, the work starts now. No matter what, there's a lot of competition and all of that. You gotta play. I was like, buddy, you gotta play World Cup. After that, it doesn't, matter how it goes and all that. But this is the most important thing. And so the work started, and we had a World Cup qualifiers for 50 overs last year in Zimbabwe. It went horrible for us. Most of us fell sick in the camp, so it went horrible for us. So after that, we had a major league, and then from then there on till the World Cup, we had no cricket schedule, literally no cricket at all. So a lot of work was done during that period of time, be it a gym work, skill work, or mental work, or even, some of us, spent money out of our pockets, planned our own trips. Some went to, India, some went somewhere else. I went to India for about 2 months, stayed there, did all the work over there. So that was a great help. But the self-belief was always there that, I know there's a lot of competition. There's so much, cricket is growing so much, so many cricketers coming in. But the self-belief was always there. I kept telling myself, like, buddy, somehow you're gonna play. It's not, I don't know how, but somehow you're gonna play the World Cup. So that sort of, that positive mindset kept driving throughout. And then when you make the World Cup team, and we had a good few series before the World Cup series against Bangladesh and Canada, winning both the series, we sort of announced ourselves that, we just not walkover teams. Like we are here to do a damage. If we don't win the World Cup, we're here to mess it up for someone else. And I think it's safe to say we did it for a few teams. And then when you play a World Cup, you stand, the national anthem goes on, everything just kicks in. I remember the first game was here in Dallas. It was a World Cup opening game. It was a lot happening, opening ceremony, and we were bowling first, and national anthem, it was all goosebumps. And then the game started. When I remember I was at the square leg boundary, the same field, and I'm like restless. There's like, you could feel the blood rushing through, your whole body, like, okay, I have nerves. I'm stretching, although I'm not stiff at all, but I keep stretching. I knew, like, okay, I need to bowl one ball. Once I bowl one ball, I will, then I'll be fine. I ran and bowled the first ball, it was fine. That's when I was like, okay, you have made it. Now it's time for you to enjoy and express yourself. This is where you wanted to be, and you're here now. Now it's time, it's time we make a difference. We don't just, the goal was always to come into the World Cup and make a statement as a team. We just didn't want it to be a, just participant in it and just don't do anything. And we as a team, I think we did, amazing. Coming in and then, beating Pakistan, qualifying to Super 8 very first time. Although we had, I think, great game against India. We were pretty close. So overall, it's been a great journey for the last couple of months. The World Cup campaign sort of put us on a world map, and, which I feel like there's a lot, there's a lot more coming for US cricket, which will be good for all of us.
And just in the World Cup also, like you spoke about India, Pakistan, couple of really big games, right? So obviously you were looking forward to those games. What was the conversation like in the camp? Like, what do you want to go out there? What do you want to achieve? Especially in the game against Pakistan, where you looked completely in control of the game, then somehow it looked like it's slipping away. What was happening there?
Yeah, look, how we pulled the game against Canada, that sort of changed the whole belief system. We were actually struggling against Canada for the first half of the game. And then, from Aaron took off from there, made it one-sided. In the way we won the game, it sort of changed the whole, environment in the camp. Like, just suddenly we're like, you're pumped up, your confidence level is high. And we were targeting Canada and Ireland for sure, because we had played them and we had beaten them before. But in one game we were hoping, okay, there could be one upset, and we were like, if we have to choose out of India and Pakistan is the team that, we could take them down on their bad day. And we were playing Pakistan first. So to begin with, we never had a doubt that, we can win against them. We planned it properly. We were watching. They were having a couple of bad series coming in before the World Cup. And it's funny, we were in control of the game throughout till the last few overs, where they came back in the games. They bowled, obviously they're very experienced players. They bowled great towards the end of it. And I remember sitting, I think Saurav was next to me, and Cheyenne was next to me, I believe. And I remember saying that, just sort of, blue, I said, we might be playing super over. I said, we can't lose this game, but I'm feeling it might go down to super over. And it went down to super over. And then, we got decent runs, and then sort of going in, putting that,
Brilliant
performance super over, that sort of just put, like, I feel like a lot changed in that 1 over for US cricket, obviously for Saurav as well, and for US cricket. I think a lot changed. We suddenly being, noticed as competitors in the tournament from just being part of it. And yeah, and then from there on was like, okay, now, we could go take down India as well. Obviously it was, tough challenge for us, but the belief system was that, okay, we're gonna run through India as well. We came short, obviously they're very experienced side. I think a lot to look back, and there was a lot of learning in the World Cup, but a lot to live for.
Jessy, the game against Pakistan, current situation, completely in control of the game. Then somehow Pakistan came back in the game. It went to super over. Like you said, somehow your gut instinct told you that it might go to super over, right? Take us through those few moments before Saurabh bowled that over.
Yeah, like when we found out, we're having the super over, obviously we batted first, and then you have to declare it, obviously, who are the three batters and who's going to bowl. So all of us, we were expecting that Ali would bowl, because, he bowls in the death overs. He goes around, plays a lot more T20 cricket than most of us.
Yeah.
So we were expecting Ali's going to bowl, even Ali himself. And I was right there. Remember, Monang came and the coach came and said, Saurav, you're going to bowl the super over. Wow. And I exactly remember Saurav went like, huh? Saurav was shocked with it, because Saurav didn't expect it. And then they said, you okay to bowl, right? So Saurav had a thought for like a 1 or 2 seconds. He said, yeah, I'm good. I'll bowl. Like how Saurav is, like he goes in that, and he was a little shocked, and then he started working up, Remember, all of us, we went and Saurav, we pat on Saurav's shoulder, Saurav, you got this and all. It was very good plan. They wanted, lefty to bowl to righties and bowl away from him, and yeah, look, and then Saurav going in, and he literally nailed that whole over. Some of the good hitters were on the field, on the pitch. Him to just go, and I remember I had a clear view from the side, because I was at deep mid boundary. And yeah, and for them to go, and I feel like it was a big sigh of relief for Saurav, and he bowled the last ball, and where he goes down and he looks up, and all of us jump on it. Those brilliant moments. I feel like the whole the image of US cricket changed in that
1 over.
1 over. Obviously a lot changed for Saurav, but I feel like the whole image of US cricket changed in that 1 over. We literally within minutes we went from just being part of the World Cup to being the competitors of teams like India, Pakistan, and all the teams. Yeah, it was amazing moments.
And then the game against India, right? Another fabulous performance, well contested battle. There's one thing, Jessy, I want to talk to you about, and that is when back home in the IPL, whenever the game gets over, we see all this superstars of cricket, right? Virat Kohli, MS Dhoni, Rohit Sharma. They spend a lot of time talking to the youngsters, giving them tips, talking about the game. Also the game which went by, they share their knowledge about it, right? And it's quite amazing to see that. So after the World Cup game against India, were you looking forward to talking to someone, maybe someone like a Bumrah or a Virat Kohli?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to Bumrah and Virat Kohli actually, but everything happened so fast. After the game, we really didn't have much chance to stick around them, and I feel like Virat had to be somewhere, so he wasn't around. But then we luckily, happened to be in the same flight to Florida with Team India. So those 2.5 hours, we had quite a bit of time once everybody settled in, and then we were sitting with some of the guys, Aksar and all of these guys, Shivam. All of us were in the back, some of the young guys, and then Rohit Sharma and a lot of the Rohit Sharma, Jaspreet were all in the front. But then I really wanted to talk to Rohit Sharma. So actually, I just went. Shayan was sitting, in the front. So I just went to see him, and Rohit Sharma was right there. And he started a conversation. He wanted to ask about the weather in Florida and all, how the wicket is, and just a conversation with, like, you can have between two cricketers. And then they went on for 10-15 minutes. We spoke about quite a few things, how they go about the game. And I remember asking about, I didn't literally ask about myself, but I wanted to ask about our team. What do you think of us as a team? I asked him, I said, if we had taken Surya's catch, you think we had a chance to win the game? He literally, without any hesitation, he said 200%. If that catch was taken, you guys could have won the game. He said it was not easy for us to come in and chase. So that sort of tells you that, like, they were not just thinking us as they're gonna walk over. They were looking at us, being very competitive. And I asked him that, we thought, like, you guys will bat against us first and put up the runs on board. But no, they said, we knew, like, you guys could be a threat, and they chose to bowl against us, to restrict in the lowest total. And then asking about, a mindset, he's a very confident guy, how he talks and all about that just speaks. He's a very careless guy. And just as we see him in Instagram reels, he's always lost, thinking of words. That's how exactly he was. So, it was very overwhelming to see that these guys are, pure personalities. There's no difference, on field, off field, on the camera, off the camera, and all that. There's a lot of learning, we spoke about a lot of things to different players. Yeah, so it was a lot of learning,
And now taking all that learning, putting it into practice and aiming higher, right? So what's the next goal now, Jessy?
The next ultimate goal is obviously the next T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
And it's in 2026, and it's in India. And I think that sort of started as soon as this World Cup finished. As an athlete, I feel like you always wanna set the bars high that are at the time it's out of your comfort zone, out of your reach. So and then all these things that you learn, how we learned in this World Cup, and you want to put all of those things together, work towards it. Because now when we go to when USA cricket team goes to 2026 World Cup in India, I feel like the expectations are going to be very high. So it's very important we live up to their expectations. And a lot more youth is coming up. There's so many cricketers. There's going to be more cricketers chasing the same dream. And it's very important for us to do the right things and keep working hard towards the goal. And hopefully, God's willing, we'll be there, for the next T20 World Cup as well.
We wish the same, Jessy. So, Jessy, you spoke about your journey. It definitely hasn't been an easy journey from the streets of New Jersey to getting onto the international stage. You also spoke about there was one emotional moment, right? You felt emotional for the first time. That was India versus USA game.
Yeah. It was at the time of the national anthem. Usually I'm a very strong guy. I don't let the emotions get to me, but I don't know why that game, before the game, I was feeling it, a little different. And then when the national anthem started, I had a big breakdown. Steven was next to me. Remember, he put a hand around my shoulder, you know. He said, bro, it was me like missing my dad because, growing up we gone through so much, and it was sort of for me like, this was the time for him to be here and live the life, see me do all of it. And yeah, it was a bit emotional. I had a breakdown, I really wanted him to be there, and then if not him, I wanted my mom to be there. She kind of fell sick just, a day before that. She had a high fever, and we decided it's not safe for her to come. But a lot of it was, connecting so many dots out there. Literally, it's funny, I have played in that park before the stadium was made. The same ground I have played over there, there was nobody there, and then running into ball, in front of 30,000 crowd, and that too a very sportive crowd, and so many of the people I know were there. And then when you see that your big sport unit is missing, so you have that little bit, weak side for it, and I think that just came out. But yeah, but like I said, I'm sure he's watching, and he's living the life.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Amazing. And on that note, Jessy, we'll kind of come to the close of today's discussion. Thanks for coming here again and doing this for us.
Thank you so much for having me.